The cobbler held the camel's reins in one hand and leaned on a wooden staff with the other, taking short steps along a narrow path through an endless expanse of barren land. A gentle breeze brushed against his face, ruffling his long beard. The soft chime of the camel's bell echoed far into the distance. As he walked, he continued speaking. "Do not worry about your father's feet, Rahila. If my feet blister along this path, it is sweeter to me than riding a camel and depriving myself of the honor of hardship and exhaustion on this journey," Rahila said. "But I feel ashamed. Father me sitting while you walk. At least let me come down and walk beside you for a while." The cobbler turned and looked at her. "There is no harm in that. Tell me whenever you wish, and I shall help you down from the camel. Let's return to what you were saying earlier, Father. You spoke of the affliction of this world, saying we should fear it." The cobbler nodded. "This world and the hereafter are two opposing foes, two paths that never meet. If you love this world and attach your heart to it, then you have forsaken and opposed the hereafter. The world and the hereafter are like the east and the west, two opposite directions, two distant realms." Lifting his staff, he pointed in one direction. "One lies this way," then, turning the staff, he gestured in the opposite direction. "And the other lies that way." Casting a glance at Rahila, he continued, "These two can never be gathered together. They do not exist side by side. Whoever walks between them is like a traveler between east and west. Whenever he draws near to one, he inevitably distances himself from the other." Rahila swayed in rhythm with the camel's movements. The cobbler smiled as he watched her. "My daughter, the world, with all its beauty, is a masterful deceiver. It is a tall, graceful bride, adorned in colorful garments, luring even the greatest of men into its embrace only to cast them away in disgrace, humiliated and belittled. What wise person does not know that this world, despite its dazzling appearance, is not worth giving one's heart to? If we are Shia, then our guides in life must be the infallible Imams. Have you heard what the commander of the faithful said about this world?" "No, Father." "Then engrave these words upon your heart. He said that this world is the most wretched, the lowest, and the most worthless of all God's creations." Straightening his back, he gazed into the distance. Our master said, "O false world, begone from me. Have you adorned yourself in hopes of deceiving me?" He spoke as though addressing the world itself. "Never shall my heart be filled with love for you. Deceive another, for I have no need of you. I have divorced you 3 times and shall never return to you again. Get away from me. I have thrown you to the ground, trampled your face into the dust, and cast your reins upon your own neck. I have freed myself from your grasp, escaped your snares, and steered clear of your traps. O lowly world, in my eyes you are worth less than a chewed-up leaf in the mouth of a locust. By God, in my sight, you are more contemptible than the fleshless bone of a swine held by a leper." Before him, the vast plain stretched endlessly, with no sign of village or settlement. The cobbler struck the ground with his staff and moved forward, tugging at the camel's reins. A gentle breeze lifted Rahila's scarf, and she raised her hand to hold it in place. The cobbler smiled at her. "Here is a breeze to cool and refresh you." He halted beside the camel, lifted his hand, and took Rahila's hand in his own. "My daughter, if you have grown weary of your father's words, say so without hesitation. Do not be shy." With a smile, he looked into her eyes. Rahila hesitated for a moment, then said, "Father, if I tell you what is in my heart, will you be upset?" The cobbler gently squeezed her hand. "Speak, my child. I am listening. I wish you would keep speaking to me all the way to Khorasan, Father. When you fall silent, my heart grows heavy, and the road feels long and difficult." The cobbler nodded. "Are your ears tired? Ears that grow weary of your words are better off deaf." The cobbler chuckled. "Shall I speak to you of this world or the hereafter?" "Speak of this world, Father. It feels as though a fearsome dragon lies sleeping behind it. Tell me, if God had left us alone in this world without an Imam, how lost and wretched would we have been?" The cobbler tapped his staff against the ground, pulled the camel's reins, and walked on. Suddenly he stopped, then stepped back. Ya Allah! A large snake had risen just a step ahead, its eyes fixed on him. "What is it, Father?" The cobbler took a deep breath, gripping his staff tightly. "Say nothing, Rahila. A great snake stands before my feet, staring straight into my eyes." Rahila gasped and covered her mouth. "A snake." The cobbler knelt where he stood, raising his staff, ready to strike. His gaze locked onto the snake's. "We mean you no harm, creature. We are traveling to Khorasan to visit Ali ibn Musa al-Rida. But if you come closer, I will have no choice but to defend myself with this staff." Before he could finish his sentence, the snake slithered away, silently, steadily, choosing another path. The cobbler lowered his staff with a smile, then turned to Rahila, who was still trembling. "Do not fear, my daughter. It has slithered away, finding another route to its den." Rahila let out a relieved sigh. The cobbler laughed. "It's best we move quickly. This desert is home to many venomous serpents." He tugged at the camel's reins. "Come, beast." As they moved forward, he laughed again. Rahila could hear it. "Father, you saw a snake, and yet you laugh?" "I laugh because I think perhaps that snake was a message for us." "A message? What kind of message?" a reminder to pause, even for a moment, and judge fairly. Are we as fearful of this world as we are of a snake? Rahila smiled. What a timely snake, appearing just when we needed it. The cobbler gazed into the distance. The snake disappeared behind dry grass. In truth, the world is like a snake, its skin soft to the touch, yet its venom deadly. Its appearance is inviting, but its essence repelling. This world is a dark and treacherous path. Only those who take the hand of a guiding Imam, who place their feet where he has stepped, and move by the light of his wisdom, can distinguish the road from the abyss and reach their destination safely, Rahila asked. And those who refuse to follow such a guide? Those who reject the leadership of an Imam deprive themselves of a great blessing, like a traveler in the dead of night, who is offered a lantern but refuses it. One who denies the Imam and relies solely on his own sight, who trusts in his whims, desires, and the shallow intellect of man-made philosophies, will find nothing but misguidance and ruin. Any wisdom that does not emerge from the house of the infallibles is a hellish wisdom, leading only to the fire. Turning to Rahila, he softened his voice. And now, my daughter, say something yourself. I speak so much that I forget my listener. I weave word upon word, talking endlessly. But it wouldn't be right to burden your small, delicate ears all the way to Khorasan. Now it is your turn. Tell me, what is in your heart? Rahila smiled, holding onto the camel's hump with both hands. What should I say, father? Anything you wish about anything at all. For as long as I remember, I have heard nothing from your lips but hadith. Every word you speak is either from the Quran, a prayer, or the sayings of the infallibles. I have grown up with Kual Bakir and Kolal Sadiq echoing in my ears. I know no other voices, and always when your last word falls, I thirst for the next. May God never bring a day when I tire of your words. The cobbler gazed at her, his heart swelling with emotion. Tears glistened in his eyes. He nodded. By God, I have never seen a daughter with greater vision than you, Rahila. I am proud to have you as my child. Rahila gave a soft smile. My eyes find light in your words, father. I have no doubt in God's wisdom. I am content with his will, and this too I have learned from you. If he has not given me a lantern in this world's darkness, he has placed one in my heart, your words, guiding me to distinguish the road from the pit. The cobbler stepped toward the camel, reaching up to take Rahila's hands. A tear slipped down his cheek. Only God knows how dearly I love you. In this journey, more than seeking anything for myself, I plead at the doorstep of Imam Rida for you. Rahila leaned forward, extending her hand toward him. The cobbler rose onto his toes and kissed her hand. May God bless your mother who brought you to me. Rahila reached for his hands, trying to kiss them. The cobbler gently pulled away, but Rahila held them fast between her own small hands and kissed his fingers. He stroked her hair. By God, in all this fleeting world, nothing is more beautiful to me than your smile, my dear Rahila. He wiped a tear from his cheek. Just then, a cool breeze brushed his face. He turned, shading his eyes with his hand, and stared into the distance. As far as the eye could see, there was nothing but desert. He let go of the camel's reins and took a few steps forward. Something in the sky caught his attention, a gray mass moving toward them. It seems something is approaching. Something. He focused, furrowing his brows. Rahila reached out, searching for his hand. Where have you gone, father? The cobbler, lost in thought, turned back toward Rahila, took the camel's reins once more, and pulled them close. Hold on tight to the camel, Rahila. It seems a strong windstorm is approaching. The sound of the camel's bell grows louder as it resumes its pace. Rahila wraps her arms around the camel's hump, clinging tightly. Father, once before, I heard you speak to your students at length about the significance of Imamat. You spoke with such conviction that I began to wonder, would the fate of one who denies the Imamat of Ali ibn Musa al-Rita truly be the fire? The cobbler glances briefly at the approaching gray mass and replies, I do not speak from myself. I refer to the words of the messenger of God. One day, in the presence of Amir al-Mu'minin, he smiled at him and said, Ali, he who denies your Imamat has, in truth, denied my prophethood. With this narration, the answer to your question becomes clear and evident. Then it follows that a denier of the Imamat is considered a disbeliever, Rahila remarks. Imamat is the soul of Islam, the essence of true faith. Islam without Imamat lacks honor. No, this Imamat is not an invention of the Shia or even of the messenger of God. Imamat was established by God long before Adam, the father of humanity, was created. Before the emergence of any faith called Islam, Imamat existed, and God took acknowledgement of it from all his prophets. He stops and looks at Rahila. She nods and says, Father, let us suppose that someone sincerely proclaims belief in the prophethood of Muhammad 1,000 times. Suppose he respects him, observes all religious obligations, prays daily, fasts perfectly, and leads a life of piety, but in his heart, he refuses to acknowledge Imamat as part of the religion and denies its necessity. The cobbler smiles bitterly and says, we do not seek to declare anyone a disbeliever, nor do we take pleasure in anyone's disbelief. But for all Muslims, there exists a standard, the words of the Quran and the words of the messenger of God. According to his ruling, one who denies Imamat is equivalent to one who denies prophethood, and one who denies prophethood has left the fold of Islam and is no longer a Muslim. This is neither a matter of prejudice nor a matter open to debate. It is as straightforward as arithmetic 2 2 plus 2. This is not my personal speech that can be ignored or disputed. It is the speech of the infallible, and the speech of the infallible is the speech of truth. To oppose this hadith is to oppose the word of God. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind halts the cobbler in his tracks, rendering him unable to move forward. He looks up. "May God have mercy on us," he murmurs. Rahila tilts her head, holding her scarf tightly against her head. "What is it, father?" The cobbler gazes into the distance. A dark mass looms in the sky, advancing swiftly. "We must find shelter, Rahila. This wind is more furious than it appears." Fear grips Rahila as she looks around. "Is there any shelter?" she asks again. The cobbler turns his head swiftly, scanning the surroundings for refuge. He moves in quick circles, searching desperately. "Put your trust in God. Recite salawat in your heart and seek help from the Imam," he instructs. Then he spots something. There, beyond the road, there's a rock. We can take shelter behind it. Grabbing the camel's reins, he pulls it forward with urgency. "Come on, animal, come on." With long strides, he struggles to reach the boulder. The camel refuses to move forward. The cobbler pulls its reins with difficulty, his garments whipping violently in the wind. He strains, trying to urge the animal on. "Come on, beast, move." Rahila, frightened, clings tightly to the camel's hump with both hands. The camel moves slowly, hesitantly. The wind amplifies the sound of its bell, making it ring faster and louder. "I'm scared, father." Rahila cries out. "Do not fear, my child. Do not fear," the cobbler reassures her. Rahila whispers prayers under her breath. The wind intensifies. The cobbler quickens his pace. Rahila trembles visibly. Suddenly, the sharp neigh of a horse echoes behind them. The cobbler turns his head sharply toward the sound. What now? From behind them, a horseman emerges on the road, galloping toward them at full speed. The cobbler glances at the boulder. There are still several steps left to reach it. Letting go of the reins, he rushes toward his saddlebag, muttering under his breath, "My dagger, where is my dagger?" His hand finds it. He pulls it out, gripping it tightly, hiding it behind his back. Rahila watches him anxiously, her eyes darting between her father and the approaching rider. "What is it, father?" Without waiting for an answer, she turns toward the sound of the horse's neighing. "It seems a rider is coming at full speed," she murmurs. "Fear nothing," the cobbler says firmly. On one side, a horse, on the other, a raging storm, which is more terrifying. The cobbler tightens his grip on the dagger, the one that has less decency. Is it a traveler or a bandit? The cobbler watches carefully. "I don't know. From this distance, it's unclear. A rider, face covered, is rushing toward us. Perhaps a traveler who has lost his way. If he is not a criminal, why does he conceal his face?" The cobbler glances at the dark mass in the sky, which is drawn even closer. "Busy yourself with prayer and cast fear from your heart, Rahila." Rahila murmurs, "It seems everything is harder in practice. Why can't I think of a single prayer?" The cobbler reaches out, taking Rahila's hand in his own. "Faith is knowing that your Lord can turn a bandit into a friend, and that is only possible through your prayer. How can a bandit become a friend? Is that even possible?" "Say no more, be still." The rider approaches and halts. His horse lets out a piercing neigh. Rahila, trembling, bends lower against the camel's hump. Her garments flutter violently in the wind. The cobbler steps forward with effort, his gaze fixed on the stranger. The rider dismounts. The cobbler, trying to keep his voice firm, calls out, "Stay where you are, stranger." The rider does not move. The cobbler raises his voice over the howling wind. "Who are you?" Silence. Again the cobbler demands, I asked, "Who are you?" Rahila whispers under her breath, "How can a bandit become a friend? Is that even possible?" The rider removes the cover from his face and laughs. Imran, son of Dawood. The cobbler, stunned, takes a deep breath and turns back toward the black storm that looms ever closer.